Well, always a fun conversation when Spencer Lindquist joins us. He is a field reporter for the Daily Wire. And Spencer, they send you to some of the craziest places. First, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And that's right. This weekend was no exception. It certainly was a crazy scene at the event that I attended over the weekend.
So you attended something, and this was in Chicago. It's called the Queer Fam Pride Jam. What was going on in the Windy City?
The Queer Fam Pride Jam, as the name suggests, was marketed. It was billed as a family-friendly event. And of course, that means that you should bring your children. That was the intent. It was trying to attract children, and it was quite successful. This was a Pride Month kickoff event, really. And it was quite a stark scene. There was a number of different performances there. We had 3 different drag performers. We had a dance class on a style of dance that is popular in the LGBT movement. And we had a number of different pride-themed festivities that were directly aimed at children. And the first thing I have to say that really struck me when I walked into the park where this was being hosted was there was actually a massive amount of strollers that were lined up against the against the wall. So this wasn't something that was even aimed at teenagers per se. This was something that was directly aimed at toddlers. I saw babies. I saw infants there who couldn't have been more than 6 or 8 months old. So this was an event that was directly and intentionally marketed to very, very young children.
So Spencer, don't take this the wrong way, but for those of you who haven't seen Spencer's picture on X, he kind of looks like a Brooks Brothers kind of a guy. You kind of give off that conservative vibe, Spencer, which is a good thing. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm curious, did you have to disguise yourself? Did you, when you infiltrated the jam, the queer jam, did you have to go in disguise?
I realized once I was there, maybe a little bit too late, that a collared polo shirt and slacks, maybe wasn't the best outfit given the event. So I certainly stood out. Also because I'm 24, and I would say that basically everybody there was either 30s or 40s or 3 or 4. There really was nobody in between that age range.
Wow.
So really, it started off with some of these songs that were being performed for children, that Baby Beluga, these very tame songs, the songs that I grew up with, but it very quickly morphed into something very, very different. And really the first thing that you actually see when you walk into this event was actually a drag makeover booth where you had a grown man dressed in this almost skin-tight green outfit with this pink shawl and a wig, and he's standing there doing face painting, doing makeup for kids at a drag makeover booth. And you've got a line that's nearly, going outside the venue. So it's all these parents who are bringing their kids there, and these kids aren't old enough to know what's going on. They really have no understanding of the political implications of any of this. They're 4 or 5, younger in many cases. So a lot of these kids looked uneasy and didn't appear to want to be there. But of course, it was their parents' choice to bring them there.
I think it's just the opening paragraph of your story is just so shocking. The battalion of strollers present in Chicago's Millennium Park on Sunday, alongside men in drag who went by names like Fabulous Freddie, was not an unfortunate coincidence. In fact, the day was designed to get as many toddlers in attendance as possible. You mentioned the parents. Can you describe them? Or we see so many photos of like the blue-haired people and all that kind of stuff. Were these normal-looking moms and dads?
There's a lot of stereotypes you might run into when you think about the people that might be going to these events. And these were people who are completely and totally in line with the mission. You could tell that by what they were wearing and by how they acted. And they were just thrilled to see the drag queens there. They were thrilled to see this dance lesson be taught to their children. They were loving it. They were eating it up. And it really made it quite clear that the parents were there for their own entertainment, for their own amusement. Maybe they think this is a moral activity. Maybe it's virtue signaling. But you could tell by how they acted, by what they were wearing, that they were truly deeply committed to this mission, really celebrating Pride Month. And it was very, very apparent where they all stood.
Spencer, I'm curious, what was the point of all of this? I mean, was this about grooming and indoctrination?
It was certainly aimed at children, and very clearly, very blatantly aimed at children. This isn't something where there was a pride event or a march and children happened to walk by on the street. This was telling people to bring their kids there. And something that really underscores that fact is that the very first performance of the day was from this individual named Jules Hoffman. Jules Hoffman is a woman who tries to go by these they, them pronouns. And she's really popular on a kids YouTube channel that has nearly 10 million subscribers. It's called Miss Rachel. So they're bringing kids in, they're giving them content that they see online that is explicitly aimed at children. It's these educational videos. And then suddenly it morphs into men in drag wearing wigs, wearing tight clothing, dancing in front of children. We saw one that actually received a dollar bill from a child in the crowd, and fell on the ground, spread his legs wide open right in front of a child. So it really was quite shocking to see how the day transformed from these relatively innocuous songs and performance at the very beginning of the day to just a few hours later, men in drag dancing in front of and even with children.
Spencer, what was your takeaway? Yeah, I mean, you've seen a lot of stuff. You've covered a lot of these kinds of stories. This is just insane.
One of the things that was really striking about the day is that people will watch the footage that we collected, or they'll hear this interview, and they'll see what it looked like, and they'll have very strong opinions about it, clearly. This is something that was actually supported with institutional support. You had corporate partners, Lululemon, chief among them. You had a number of local businesses that were also supporting this. But maybe most importantly, you had the mayor of Chicago. The city of Chicago actually supported this event, and the mayor of Chicago showed up to give his support, and he declared June as one of the most important months of the year because it is Queer Family Month, and he called it Pride Month as well, of course. So this is something that, despite how unpalatable this is to so many Americans, is receiving support from very powerful people and very powerful institutions like the city of Chicago.
Just stunning. And folks, head over to the Daily Wire and read Spencer's great work, What I Saw at Chicago's Queer Fam Pride Jam. Spencer, do they give you counseling to them? I hope they're taking care of you at the Daily Wire, because the stuff they expose you to is insane. It's insane.
Oh, well, they take care of me very well, and as long as these types of things are out happening, and I'm sure a lot more will happen this June, we'll be out there on the ground covering.
All right. Well, you're a great writer, Spencer. We followed your work for a long time, and you're a brave man as well. We appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you very much, Todd.
All right. Wow. There you go. And go and read Spencer's work. He is a great journalist, and you can follow him on social media, Twitter. Spencer Lindquist, LNDQST is the spelling there for Twitter. But again, this is all part of an effort to groom your kids. And when you've got events aimed at children 3 and 4 years old, and you're, again, spreading your legs and inviting children to slip dollar bills into your private parts, that used to be a crime in this country. Now, that kind of behavior is actually celebrated.